Hi. Wanted to start out and say thank you for the views. I am not a YouTuber. I am a hillbilly from Appalachia, and I sit at home now due to a neuromuscular disorder, and when I saw this issue and I saw somebody in pain, and I knew that I had an education that could possibly help either bring some solace or at least, some thought, logic, rational thought that was not emotionally bound up, I thought, sure, I'll make a video. The worst that could happen is people will make fun of me for caring, and I'm okay with that. People are more important than target practice. So I was absolutely astounded. I had like 1.7 thousand views this morning, but as I started my day, I was just I was really amazed with how much interest and how much positive feedback I got, because one of the things I want to talk about in this video is that a lot of the feedback that is going on between the Ryan and Katie drama is very negative. It is very highly emotionally charged, and it is weaponized. And the one thing you should never do when you're upset is lash out. And from what I have been able to glean from the internet today, it seems that Katie is going to be issuing a video tomorrow. She's trying to calm down. She doesn't want to drop F-bombs. She wants to be kind and courteous to her viewers. I'm already saying that's growth. Because the only viewpoint I had of her until I heard that, was this very angry, animated, and kind of hostile young lady that was, that felt she had to be that way to protect herself for some reason. So just to see that makes me think, oh yay, she's calmed down, she's slowed down, and she's thinking. Normally if you're mad, they say first thought wrong. If you're mad, your first 533 thoughts are wrong. You're not going to make a good decision when you're mad. You're not going to choose good words when you're mad. You have to stop and de-escalate and really go through your cognition and say, why am I thinking like this? And how should I be thinking? Now, I'm not unbiased in this. I'm definitely biased. As somebody that has worked in the court systems and seen words that people choose to say, and they choose them for a reason, whether to weaponize them or to gain pity or to start a movement or to garner respect or to play for power. When we choose words, you have to own those words, because they can turn into other things. And I've watched people in court that the facts did not quite line up to what the initial report or the initial wording said. And I believe from her statement that she's kind of backpedaling now, and I don't say that in a negative way. I think she's calming down, and she got her eyebrows down, and she's thinking. So I think she's calming down and she's thinking now, and she's going, oh, okay, I'm going to hurt more than just him if I continue with that momentum and that thought pattern. And I think it's wise that she's taking a step back. I would even go farther and say, if you're watching this, Katie, hey, maybe don't even do a video. How about issue a statement? Because a written statement that you publish to your fan base, it cannot be misconstrued. It cannot, we can't look for body language. We can't look for tails. You're not going to lose it in the middle of a statement, because you can backspace and delete whatever doesn't need to be there. It gives you a little bit more control to make sure that what you do want to put out is what you actually put out, and so that you don't get in the middle of a video and something trigger and whew, there we go. So I would even recommend, don't give your fans a video. Issue a statement. And you don't have to tell them everything that occurred. All you have to do is take responsibility for what you have done that has possibly misconstrued this, and you're done. You don't owe anybody else anything else. So I take it from the videos of what has happened. It really concerned me in the beginning, because it did sound, with the wording and the hostility and the throwing around of the word legal, and I will professionally take care of myself, that made me think that it was fixing to end up in a police report or a legal context, legal issue. And, I'm going to pause here and say, women, if you have been assaulted anyway, if you think anybody's trying to harm you, please do a police report. Please go somewhere where you're safe. Please call an officer. Please report this. We cannot stop violence unless you report it. At the same time, please, women, let me tell you, as an ex-parole officer that sat and has watched so many people lose freedom because of bad decisions, if you falsify charges, falsify a report, lie to get a power play, or to try to have things go your way, you can end up with a charge as well. It's very important that we take this very seriously. And everybody was like, well, you were not emotional. I was biased. I am biased. I'm not an unbiased participant. I'm just calm and rational. At the same time that I was concerned that Upchurch was fixing to go through something legal because of some kind of animosity that was unjustified, I could also sit back and watch his video and understand that he was so emotionally maxed out that it was hard for him to make a good decision and choose good words too. Now, if you've been alleged to have harmed somebody, you should be upset. You should be mad and you should defend yourself. At the same time, so you need to kind of calm down. Don't say, if your eyebrows are up here, don't speak. Wait till your eyebrows come down and then speak. It's going to help out a whole lot, because when you're upset and your eyebrows are up there, you're going to say some really nasty things. But if you can calm down, it'll be better. So I'm glad to see that maybe this is going to resolve. I don't think that either of them owe the public anything. I think they need to work this out, not because of the public thing. I think it's bad because the behavior role models for younger people that look at them. But I mean, really, honestly, you don't owe anybody an explanation or a justification or anything. What I would really prefer to see is just that they take a step back, de-escalate, try to not harm anybody with any kind of malicious intent. If something has occurred that has really tripped the trigger between you all, then talk about it. If you have to do it in a controlled environment, get a mediator, do something like that. But don't let it escalate back into this crap. I just think that possibly what y'all need to do is really sit down and write down what you have learned from this. And when you get in another position where you want to act in this manner again, read it. And remember what you learned from this and what really, really stung, and that you don't want to repeat it. Now, a lot of people have said lots of things in my comment section. I tried to talk to y'all as much as I could. I'm sorry if I missed somebody, or everybody's been super positive. I appreciate that, because I read other comments on other pages and they were not super positive. And it's very important that I stress that you can be upset, hold someone accountable for behavior without trashing them. Just because somebody is having a lapse in judgment, a lapse in behavior, or going through something that you cannot completely understand or process because you don't know the whole story, it doesn't mean that you discredit them completely as a person. You look at what's going on, you look at the behavior surrounding the incident before and after. You kind of have to take an individualized assessment. And my assessment is that there is something going on that is creating a time of maladjustment. And this maladjustment is creating some turmoil. And when you're in turmoil, you lash out. And who do we lash out on? The people that love us most, because we don't think they'll leave us. We think that they're easy targets and they're never going to go anywhere, and that's who we pick on. So that could be some of it. Some of it, as some people say, she's young. She doesn't understand everything that goes into relationships, and especially being in a relationship with an older male. That could be something as well. She doesn't understand the legal system. She doesn't understand the legality. She doesn't understand the intent that her words could have if it ended up in a legal scenario. There's a lot that goes into this that we can never know, that we just kind of have to guess and have an opinion of and drop it. While I have an opinion, and I will honestly say it's a biased opinion, and because of the turmoil that I've seen in the court systems with women using words in a similar manner, I will also say that I am concerned for her. And I am concerned for her because this is no way to live life. These the roller coaster of life. The highs are great and the lows are horrible, but nobody lives there. You're supposed to live in between. And so you go through these highs and lows, but 90% of your life should be in the moderate area, to where you're in control of your faculties and you're in control, and you feel more positive than negative, and you feel that you're doing well. If she lives her life in more of these highs and lows, which seems to be what I see online, and that could just be social media, that could just be behavior that she chooses to show. It doesn't necessarily reflect her as an entire person. But if she does seem to find herself living in these highs and lows, then I would recommend that she seek some help and see if this is something that maybe a counselor or therapist could help her work with, see if it's something that's triggering this, see if there is some kind of emotional conditioning that's creating the turmoil, see if there's any way to combat it. Because somebody that lives in those super emotional places, it burns you out. And it harms the people that love you. And then you end up alone with nobody to browbeat, nobody to take your anger out on. And then most people, it goes bad very quickly. So, look at those things. Check yourself. You don't, to be a powerful female in the world today, you don't have to have a dirty mouth. You don't have to have mannerisms that you've adopted from somebody else because you think they're tough. You simply have to have information, have knowledge, and have a healthy opinion of how you handle both of those things. That's all you need to be powerful as a woman. And a lot of women don't understand that. So that's something to think about. Somebody else also said perhaps she's having an issue with sexual orientation, and I've worked with a lot of people that have gender dysphoria and identity issues, and I'm just going to say normally, in that regard, they are harder on themselves than they are on anyone else. They internalize. So the lashing out doesn't always go along with that, but that may be something she wants to look at too, if that's something that she is going through. I have no idea. I'm not a YouTuber, and I'm really not like super up to date on everything. I just saw 2 people in crisis, and I felt really bad about it. So, I hope things get better. But I'm going to wait for her statement tomorrow. I'm going to see what's going on, and I'm here if she's not getting anyone else that can talk to her to help her out. If she needs help finding resources, or I'm here. So hopefully tomorrow will be a better day for everybody.